Let's dive right into this explainer, because today's topic kicks off with a genuine, real-world mystery. Back in 1997, a massive anomaly completely shattered what we thought we knew about the deep ocean. I mean, when we picture the ocean's loudest roars, we're usually thinking of massive whales, right? Maybe secret submarines, or sure, giant sea monsters. But what scientists actually detected down in the pitch-black depths that year was so unimaginably powerful it completely defied explanation.
Picture this. A sound so insanely loud it hits one sensor and then triggers another sensor over 3,000 miles away. Out of nowhere, this massive, ultra-low frequency boom just erupted from a single unknown point in the ocean. The sound wave was so impossibly huge that it expanded outward to those unbelievable distances. Researchers were literally left in absolute disbelief. I mean, absolutely nothing they knew of could make a noise that loud underwater.
So here's what happened. The U.S. agency NOAA was listening in on the Pacific using this massive scattered network of underwater microphones when they caught the anomaly. And because of its really unique audio profile, they gave it a pretty unassuming nickname. They famously called it the Bloop, basically because when you take the raw recording and speed it up, it sounds exactly like a giant watery drop falling into a sink. But hey, do not let that cute name fool you. This sound instantly became one of the greatest, most terrifying mysteries of the deep.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the math behind the monster. So why exactly did this one anomaly send the early internet into an absolute frenzy of sea monster theories? Well, when researchers mapped the raw audio on a spectrogram, they didn't see the rigid, predictable lines you'd get from a machine, like a collapsing submarine or a massive engine. Instead, the readout showed this fluid, sweeping pattern, and in acoustics, that is the unmistakable fingerprint of a biological call. A living, breathing creature. But here is where the mystery scales up dramatically. Think about a blue whale. That is the absolute largest creature in Earth's history, topping out at around 200 tons. Literally, that is the absolute biological ceiling for life on our planet as we know it. So when scientists crunch the numbers on the sheer volume required to call across thousands of miles of ocean, they hit a massive wall. A 200-ton blue whale is simply mathematically incapable of producing that much acoustic power. To shout across an entire ocean, whatever creature was generating this noise had to be exponentially larger. So all those famous internet tales of an undiscovered, colossal sea monster hiding in the deep, they weren't just wild fiction or some made-up creepypasta. They were born directly from hard math. The terrifying mathematical reality was that something exponentially larger than the biggest known animal in history was seemingly swimming around down there, just calling out into the dark.
Which brings us to Section 2, the real source, icequakes.
Okay, fast forward a few years and scientists uncover a major twist. The source of this world-spanning sound actually wasn't biological at all. Honestly, it was almost stranger. Picture a colossal, literally city-sized iceberg drifting near Antarctica. Under its own sheer physical weight, it experiences extreme stress, causing these gigantic slabs of ice to violently crack and fracture underwater. But the true power is triggered when those jagged fractured slabs drag directly across the solid rock of the seafloor. This immense geological friction generates tremendous, earth-shaking bursts of energy. And these bursts radiate outward as ultra-low frequency sound waves. Now, unlike high-pitched noises, these deep sound waves have a really unique property. They can cut through thousands of miles of water without losing any of their immense power. So that deep, violent, geological scrape of a city-sized iceberg tearing across the ocean floor, that is exactly what created the famous ocean-spanning mystery noise.
I absolutely love this quote. No creature, just ice, on a colossal scale. The Bloop was an icequake. It just beautifully illustrates that our planet itself can be louder and honestly far more dramatic than any living animal inside it.
Moving on to Section 3, the echoing acoustic void.
Now, this poses a pretty logical question, right? If it was just ice the whole time, why did it take years to figure that out? Well, first, it's important to realize that the Bloop actually isn't an isolated incident. Over the years, ocean microphones have picked up a whole eerie catalog of unexplained sounds. Look at these names: Julia, Slow Down, Upsweep, The Whistle. While some of these get traced back to ice or underwater volcanoes, others completely evade detection to this day.
The real problem here is the deep ocean itself. It's this strange, echoing acoustic environment, where sound waves don't just quickly fade away.
Instead, they travel outward for thousands of miles. And because they travel so far, picking up a noise doesn't mean it's nearby at all. It means the source could literally be anywhere within a thousands of miles wide radius.
To actually pinpoint a sound in an area that inexplicably huge, scientists would require a massive network of overlapping microphones. But the reality? Humanity is only listening at a handful of scattered, isolated points across the entire global ocean. So when a massive sound wave washes over just one listening post, sure, we capture the audio, but we completely lack the overlapping data points needed to trace it backward to its exact source.
And that brings us to Section 4, our unmapped ocean floor.
To really grasp why the deep sea is so full of these unexplained, echoing rumbles, we have to zoom out and look at this mind-blowing disparity. Right now, humanity has highly detailed topographical maps of the entire surface of Mars. Yet, the vast majority of Earth's own ocean floor remains completely blank. We've literally mapped less of our own seafloor than we have of an alien planet. The deep sea is the single largest habitat on Earth, and by far the least understood.
And because this massive, pitch-black space is so unexplored, scientists are constantly discovering huge, bizarre new creatures down there. So the crucial takeaway here is that picking up an unidentifiable noise isn't paranormal proof of a monster. It's honestly just a statistical certainty of a habitat we barely know. We simply do not have enough data to identify every rumble that echoes up from the deep.
I think this sums it up perfectly. It's a reminder of how much down there we still haven't seen. Even though the loudest sound in the ocean turned out to be the violent fracturing of a city-sized iceberg, the initial mystery surrounding it serves as a powerful, localized reminder of our own ignorance.
And that leaves us with a pretty haunting final thought. In a sea we've barely explored, what is the next mystery waiting? Every so often, something rumbles out of the dark that nobody can identify. And until we finally map that echoing void, the deep ocean will absolutely continue to surprise us. So keep your curiosity alive, because the unseen depths of our planet still have so many stories left to tell.